I'll call security to come over and open it.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye, and it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't turn their heads as they see me ride by. But a little brown maverick is winking her eye. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the sounds of the earth are like music. All the sounds of the earth are like music. The breeze is so busy it don't miss a tree. And an old weeping willer is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Oh, what a beautiful day.
Every step, I know every song. I know there's a place where I belong. I see all those party lights shining ahead. So someone invite me before I drop dead. Oh, 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 woke up today feeling the way I always do. Oh, 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 hungry for something that I can't eat. Then I hear the beat. The rhythm of town starts calling me down. It's like a drummer inside my heart. Oh, 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 don't make me wait one more moment for my life to start. Good morning, Baltimore. Every day's like an open door. Every night's like a fantasy. Every sound's like a symphony. I love you, Baltimore. And one day when I take to the floor, the world's gonna wake up and see. Gonna wake up and see. Baltimore and me. Baltimore and me. Baltimore and me.
There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you.
There were birds in the trees, but I never saw them winging. No, I never saw them at all till there was you.
And there was music they tell me, in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew.
There was love all around, but I never heard it sing. No, I never heard it at all till there was you.
And there was music, and there were wonderful roses, they tell me, in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not in Iowa anymore. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vice Mayor Suja Lowenthal.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. Let's give the singers from Long Beach's own Musical Theater West another round of applause for that beautiful performance. I'd like to thank Damon Kirsch and Natalie Walken. Let's also, and you know they do this to me every year, they always have cute kids before me. So let's also thank Boy Scout Troop 120 and Cub Scout Pack 206. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome all of you to the 2016 Long Beach State of the City Address. Let me take a moment to recognize our local elected officials. City Attorney Charlie Parkin, City Prosecutor Doug Halbert, City Auditor Laura Dowd, and our City Council members, 1st District Councilwoman Lena Gonzalez, 3rd District Councilwoman Susie Price, 4th District Council Member Daryl Supernaw, 5th District Councilwoman Stacy Mungo, 6th District Councilman Dee Andrews, 7th District Council Member Roberto Uranga. It's like a competition now. 8th District Council Member Al Austin, 9th District Council Member Rex Richardson. I also want to recognize our award-winning Long Beach Unified School District board members, President Dr. Felton Williams, Vice President John Meyer, Board Member Diana Craighead, Board Member Megan Kerr, Board Member John McGinnis, and the members of the Long Beach City College Board of Trustees, President Doug Otto, Vice President Irma Archuleta, Trustee Jeff Kellogg, Trustees Sunny Zia, and Trustee Dr. Virginia Baxter. I also want to recognize the leaders of our 3 educational institutions: Long Beach Unified School District Superintendent Chris Steinhauser. And did I mention they were an award-winning school district? The Broad Prize winner for urban education. Long Beach City College President Eloy Oakley. And California State University Long Beach President Jane Close Connolly. And I'd like to give a special welcome to Jane. It is her first year with us at the State of the City, so welcome. And we have some visiting elected officials today. We have County Assessor Jeffrey Prang and Signal Hill Mayor Larry Forrester. And a very, very special guest, our own beloved former mayor, the Honorable Beverly O'Neill. So you all know I'm a short timer, so I'm going to stand here as long as I can. Thank you all for being here tonight with us here in our great city, Long Beach. I also want to take a minute to recognize the outstanding staff here at the Terrace Theater. They have been working for days behind the scenes to bring this event to where it is today, and we truly and really appreciate their hard work. Please give them a round of applause. And finally, let's recognize Long Beach Transit, the Long Beach Water Department, Long Beach Department of Health and Human Services, and the Port of Long Beach for their support of tonight's event. As many of you know, this will be my final State of the City as Vice Mayor, and my last year on the City Council. I know all. For that reason, being here tonight is both bittersweet and extremely special for me. I could not be more grateful to serve this great city we call our home and to introduce our amazing mayor. 2015 was a year that saw many troubling events all over the world, including some that touched us right here in Long Beach. Our heart and soul wrenched when we lost Noemi Gonzalez in Paris, when all she was doing was something we hope all children can do, and that is to study wherever they would like. It's moments like these that remind us that when a child is lost to one of us, she is lost to all of us. Our hearts ache, and it's very palpable. We're left to turn this ache into strength and into conviction, and to do the best for those whom we serve. But thanks to the love we have for this city, and for each other, we have continued to grow, and we have continued to thrive. Long Beach is a city that knows how to come together. We are a city committed to equality, to diversity, to justice, and to compassion. And we are privileged to have a leader who embodies those qualities. Our mayor has been outspoken in standing up for our deepest values and in advocating for the needs of all our residents, no matter their race, their religion, or sexual orientation, and no matter their socioeconomic status or what neighborhood they live in. He's just the right leader for this time and this city. I am so very proud to call him a colleague, to call him my friend, and to call him our mayor. I know we're all looking forward to hearing his report on the state of our city. It is my pleasure to introduce the 28th mayor of the great city of Long Beach, my mayor, our mayor, Dr. Robert Garcia.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Robert Garcia.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to obviously begin by saying good evening and thank you all for coming. This is a very, very special night for all of us. I want to begin by thanking Vice Mayor Lowenthal for her incredibly generous introduction. She's been a great friend, and I know we all appreciate her 10 years of incredible service, and most importantly, her friendship. Let's give her a big round of applause. I want to welcome everyone. Welcome to the honorable members of the City Council, to our elected officials from both state and federal legislative delegations, from LA County, the Board of Education, our community college leaders, our neighboring city elected officials. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to our outstanding city manager and staff, all of our education leaders, our public safety officers, our city commissioners who I know are here tonight, and most important, to all the residents, whether they're here in the Terrace Theater or whether they're watching at home. Thank you for being here, and let's give them all a big round of applause. And of course, I especially want to thank my family and my great partner, the amazing Dr. Matt Mendez, for their support. I love you, Matt, and thank you guys for being here. It is my honor and my privilege to present to all of you my second State of the City speech. As mayor of this amazing city, and in my opinion, the best and greatest city in the world, Long Beach. Tonight, I'll share with you some of our most important accomplishments of this past year, of course, our challenges moving forward into next year, and my vision for our future. Now, this is a great time to be in Long Beach, a great time to live here, to open up a business, to raise a family, and to just be part of our community. My friends, I am proud to say that the state of our city is strong and getting stronger. Now, Long Beach had an exciting year. And as a teacher, you know that supporting schools, for me, is always going to be my top priority. In 2014, the city joined our educational institutions, the Long Beach Unified School District, Long Beach City College, and Cal State Long Beach as a full member in the Long Beach College Promise. Now, we've worked with our partners to expand preschool access, to double the number of internships for Long Beach students, and a bunch more great work. In the last 18 months, we have increased internships by more than 50%, adding more than 750 new internships to the 1,500 already being offered. That's thanks largely in part because of Long Beach Call, our Pacific Gateway Investment Network, Long Beach Unified School District, and Long Beach City College. A great accomplishment, and let's give them a round of applause. And Long Beach Unified has also added more than 800 new preschool seats all across Long Beach, and expects to open a new pre-K center, in fact, the largest center in the county, in North Long Beach in 2017. My thanks to the LA Chamber of Commerce for their support in bringing that EduCare pre-K center here to Long Beach. And where there's always this promise of an education, Long Beach City College is also doing something great. They are now offering a full year of free tuition for every Long Beach Unified grad coming into Long Beach City College. It's amazing. I want to thank Long Beach City College for expanding and working so hard on the Long Beach College Promise. And of course, my alma mater, Cal State Long Beach. My alma mater, Cal State Long Beach, received more than 89,000 applications this fall in their next class. That means that Cal State Long Beach is the 5th most applied to university in the country and the most applied to university out of the whole Cal State system in the entire state of California. Go Beach! This is how a city supports its youth. And we show, by working together with students and teachers, the future pathway for economic development across our community. Now, the Long Beach College Promise has also won national recognition, with the White House naming it a model for its own national education initiative. And Governor Brown awarded $5 million to support our local students through the Long Beach College Promise. And over the next year, we will continue to strengthen the promise with smart collaboration across the community. We are set to reach universal preschool access for the most vulnerable students in Long Beach in 2018. This is a great goal, especially for working families. And we will continue to expand college access, success, and internships. And I want to encourage everyone who owns or operates a small business or large to consider providing internships for our youth. One reason we've been able to expand internships is that our economy is also growing, with new businesses opening all across town, national brands moving in, relocating to Long Beach, and really creating a new creative economy. The creative economy is booming. So let's spend a few minutes and talk about the budget, the economy, and jobs. Now, the Long Beach economy had a strong year, and there are positive signs that that will continue. First and foremost, the city has shown excellent fiscal restraint and responsibility. We once again balanced the budget. Absolutely, thank you. We once again balanced the budget and even had a small surplus. Now, despite even a fall in oil prices, which has reduced our capital projects, the city moved forward responsibly. And we've taken a prudent approach to our pension liabilities. Now, paying down our costs now, instead of kicking the can down the road, is the right thing to do. In fact, the deficits that we might see in coming years are exactly because we're paying down more of our pension liability and doing the right thing. The sooner we pay down the liability, the more money we save for the city, and that's a smart approach. And I want to thank our Long Beach City Council for their fiscal prudence. Give them a round of applause. Meanwhile, private investment in Long Beach is growing. Unemployment hit its lowest level since 2007 this last year and is now at 6.5%. And of course we can do better, and we will continue to. But I want to thank the Workforce Development Department, which served more than 3,000 job seekers and placed more than 1,900 into jobs in 2015. Now, citywide, we saw hundreds of millions of dollars invested in new construction, including more than $65 million at the Pike, which now includes nationally known retailers like H&M, The Gap, Forever 21, Converse, and Nike. Our hospitality industry is thriving thanks to our outstanding Convention and Visitors Bureau. And our hotels are seeing record occupancy rates, and the convention center is booked months and months in advance. All good news for tourism and that part of the economy. We've also begun the sale and development of hundreds of former redevelopment agency properties. Now, this will generate millions of dollars for the city and support the continued revitalization of our neighborhoods. 46 of the 53 properties for sale are already in escrow, and requests for proposals are being developed for other key properties across the city. We've also seen the expansion of locally owned businesses, many of which attract visitors from throughout the region. And we've seen art, music, and cultural events really come alive in Long Beach. These include Live After 5, Summer in Music, our first Powwow mural event, all of which have brought internationally renowned artists, musicians to Long Beach to get involved, create murals, and make wonderful art. So a big thank you to everyone involved in all those big organizations, as well as those programs. At last year's State of the City, I set a goal of constructing 4,000 new residential units in downtown in the next 10 years. More people downtown is better for our economy and produces investment opportunities for the rest of the city. Now, in the past year, we've made great progress on this goal. We've had 224 new units under construction right now, being completed, and more than 1,700 entitled for construction throughout the rest of this year. And there's more to come in 2016 and in 2017. This is a huge deal for Long Beach. This is a big deal because all this investment gets back invested throughout the city and into the community. And part of this is the investments the council has made by moving forward with a brand new civic center. This project will create 8,000 good construction jobs, provide an expanded Lincoln Park, a more accessible library, residences, a new city hall, and the headquarters for our economic engine of Long Beach, the Port of Long Beach. And my thanks to our harbor commissioners for their unanimous support of this project. But let's talk a little bit about the port. The port is one of our city's most important assets and a major reason for the positive economic trends happening across our community. A lot of people don't know, but 1 out of every 8 jobs in Long Beach is somehow related to the port and transportation. 3,000 jobs because of the port were created just in 2015 through their construction projects. And 2015 also was a record year with an increase of 5.4% in volume at the port, and that's great news for the Port of Long Beach. And by the way, with this growth, who do we have to thank? We have to thank Luke, Leia, and Darth Vader. And not because they used the Force to make it happen, but because those ships are full of Han Solo and BB-8 action figures. And believe it or not, Star Wars toys helped fuel our end-of-the-year retail growth at the Port of Long Beach. So go Star Wars. The port continues to expand and invest over $550 million in infrastructure and technology just last year. In fact, it's more than any other port in the entire Western Hemisphere. Now, over the last 10 years, cargo volume has increased, but something else has also happened. Greenhouse gas emissions have fallen by 21%. And we've begun construction on the Gerald Desmond Bridge replacement, a $1.5 billion project that will improve cargo, add movement throughout the port, and add an iconic new element to our skyline. Now, our port, as we all know, is the best in the world and will help keep our economy strong. However, the most important ship in Long Beach is not one of the new supercarriers coming in from Asia, but the floating icon that stays right here in our harbor, the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary recently got a new operator, and the timing is perfect because this last year we have formed the all-new Queen Mary Land Development Task Force. The task force will help reimagine the 40-plus acres that surround the Queen Mary. Later this year, the task force and the developer will present their development plan to the city. And everyone, we're finally going to develop the land around the Queen Mary and restore the ship to where it needs to be. A big round of applause for everyone involved in that project. And of course, another crucial asset that we love and that we all have is our amazing airport, the Long Beach Airport. The Long Beach Airport continues to win accolades across the country nationwide because of our beautiful terminal, the easy travel experience, and a unique concourse featuring all local restaurants. Just last month, the Long Beach Airport was named one of the top 10 airports in the country by Condé Nast, which is a huge accomplishment for the airport. And let me say this right now because I think it's important. Our airport and our city are special in large part because of our noise ordinance. And I want everyone to know that I am 100% committed to preserving the noise ordinance. As the city begins research and discussion over any future changes to airport operations, protecting our neighborhoods will always be my top priority, and I know it's a top priority of the council as well. So we'll do that work carefully and consider, most importantly, our noise ordinance. And I want to thank the council, by the way, for their support. Let's give them another round of applause. Now, just north of the airport, Douglas Park is booming with new businesses. Virgin Galactic is building rockets in Douglas Park. Mercedes-Benz USA opened its West Coast headquarters at Douglas Park, and Shimadzu Instruments relocated and moved to Long Beach. The city also received almost $4 million to repurpose the Boeing C-17 site and put employees back to work in our community. Aerospace is alive and well in Long Beach. And I am confident that Long Beach, the birthplace of commercial aircraft manufacturing, is becoming a center of the commercial space industry. Now, these companies cited our educated workforce, our quality of life, and a business-friendly environment for their decisions to invest here. We are working to make the city more business-friendly every single day. And I want to talk a little bit about the Long Beach Innovation Team. The Long Beach Innovation Team, funded by a $3 million grant from Bloomberg Philanthropies, began its work in this last year. The Innovation Team will launch a new website for startup businesses later in 2016. They will also work on a bunch of other high-tech strategies, including a high-tech infrastructure plan to attract investment and encourage entrepreneurs to create local jobs. We're also improving our licensing and permitting process, and we're using open counter software to track applications and speed the process of opening or expanding a business. On top of that, we just launched, as you all know, this last year, our new city website and online city hall with dozens of services for residents, visitors, and businesses. We've also been creative on a bunch of other things, but there's a lot of folks working on technology, and they also deserve a big round of applause. Thank you, Long Beach Innovation Team. And I want to talk a little bit about transit, because we've been creative when it comes to public transit. Now, while many cities have tried to regulate ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft, we've taken a hands-off approach. Instead, we updated our policies to allow traditional taxi companies to be more competitive while we still support the new sharing economy. And we need to ensure that as our economy grows, not just for the economy of the future, that it grows for everyone locally, that everyone benefits. The first step to develop a new economy is to develop a comprehensive plan, an economic plan for Long Beach, something we have not had for years. This is the most important task right now before our Economic Development Commission. This 10-year blueprint for the new economy is the work that will guide this year and future years on economic development. And this commission should have that report ready to the City Council, hopefully for review sometime this summer. And while this work is being done, we all need to recognize that the truth is that poverty in Long Beach is still very, very real. And it's especially real in central Long Beach. Now, helping our neighbors requires a focus on education, on retraining, on jobs, and yes, fair wages. Long Beach took an important step forward in this goal by implementing a citywide project labor agreement with local hiring goals to make sure that our residents get training and jobs in large construction projects. So I want to thank everyone for working on that PLA, and a big round of applause to all the men and women that build our roads and our bridges and our buildings. I'm also proud that just this last week, our Economic Development Commission sent recommendations for a minimum wage increase to the City Council. Now, I want to thank the Commission for their hard and difficult work, and the Council of Business Associations for their input and ideas. But I especially want to thank the hard-working men and women who are standing up and advocating for their future, and the numerous small business owners who spoke up at the hearings. When the Council initially took up this issue, my commitment was to an open and inclusive process, and that's what we've had. The conversation has been passionate, but it has also been respectful. I believe that every worker in our city deserves a living wage, especially those facing poverty. No person should work 40 hours a week or more and not be able to provide for their family. Now, the recommendation... The Economic Development Commission recommendations will be forwarded to the City Council over the next few weeks. What they've recommended is a gradual increase to the minimum wage to $13 by 2019, and to provide an extra year for small businesses and for nonprofits. The Commission also recommended that the Council consider new business incentives, strong wage enforcement, required sick days, and new state legislation to allow exemptions for tipped employees. But most importantly, at least for me, the Commission also recommended a study in 2019 to evaluate the impacts of the minimum wage once the $13 level was implemented. Now, I support the Commission's recommendations, and I also know that this city is going to have a larger conversation. This issue is important to the City Council and to all of us, and they're going to have their own ideas and recommendations in the coming weeks, and their ideas also on how to best address this issue. But as we debate the final law, let's use the work of the Commission and build an ordinance that works for everyone, but most importantly, gives Long Beach the raise it deserves. An increase in minimum wage will stimulate our economy and help many families who struggle to make ends meet. And for some residents, that struggle is even more difficult. Our homeless residents are especially vulnerable. The best thing that we can do to reduce homelessness is to prevent it by keeping people in their homes and ensuring that we are building plenty of quality, affordable housing. In 2015, we preserved, created, or began construction on more than 1,500 affordable units. Now, who are these units for? These units are for families, they're for workers, they're for seniors, and they're for, most importantly, our veterans. Unfortunately, because of the demise of the Redevelopment Agency, that removed our primary source of funding for affordable housing. We cannot afford to wait for Sacramento or for Washington to solve this challenge for us. While our rental market has been improving, and that's great news, increasing rents also have a burden on working people, so they need our help. Over the past few weeks, my office has been meeting with housing advocates and developers to begin discussing new and smart policies on ways that we can encourage quality, affordable housing. And I want to thank, and I've asked Assemblywoman Bonnie Lowenthal, who's here with us tonight, to help lead that initiative. So let's give her a big round of applause. And as you all know, last spring, I announced that the city had accepted President Obama's challenge to end veteran homelessness. In 2011, in our city, there were 309 veterans living on our streets, 309. Last year at this time, during the State of the City, we had lowered that number to about 100 unsheltered veterans on our street. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that working together, we have ended chronic homelessness for veterans in Long Beach. So what does that mean? We will soon be submitting a request for federal certification, and that process has already begun. And in a few weeks, federal and state officials will come to Long Beach and announce that Long Beach is the first big city in California to meet this federal goal. We need to thank our health department, the Long Beach VA, United States HUD, and the Apartment Association for their incredible help in reaching this historic achievement. There is no more important goal than honoring the men and women that have fought for us so strongly throughout our history. And there's obviously more work to do in this area, and we will continue to do it. So we are working every day to make Long Beach the city that's great for everyone. Everyone that can raise their family and enjoy their lives. And part of that is making Long Beach more sustainable for everyone, creating a true, sustainable, and livable city. Here's how we're doing it. In the past year, we've paved more than 95 miles of streets and 16 miles of sidewalk. We filled more than 28,000 potholes, trimmed nearly 24,000 trees, and cleared more than 77,000 graffiti tags. We expanded library hours, opening several branches on Sunday, and our library continues to be one of the best in the world. In our library system, there were 1.3 million items checked out in 2015 alone. We also increased our support for the arts through more money and support for both the Arts Council and the Long Beach Museum of Art, and it's had a big impact. The museum increased membership this year by 26% and visits by 51% over last year. Let's give them a round of applause. As we all know, every great city must invest in the arts. And it's time for this great city to increase our commitment to funding the arts in Long Beach. Tonight, I'm asking the City Council to initiate a new 1% for the Arts program. The new 1% for the Arts program will become a new permanent source of funding for the arts in Long Beach. And I look forward to working with the arts community and the Long Beach City Council in the weeks ahead to develop a policy that works for our city. We used to have a 1% for the arts, and it's gone, and it's time we bring it back. And the city of the future, as we have said, must be sustainable. Now, I'm proud that I recently signed the Compact of Mayors for Climate Change. This is an incredible initiative. We have committed in Long Beach to an aggressive reduction in greenhouse gas emissions over the next few years. Now, at the last State of the City, I asked the Aquarium of the Pacific to develop a new climate resiliency action plan. That plan was just completed last week and will be presented to the Council this upcoming week. The report will guide us as we meet the goals of the Mayor's Compact. Part of this is electric vehicles, and electric vehicles will be an important part of our climate change adaptation program. Let's talk about Long Beach Transit and their role in this. This year, Transit will put the first electric buses on the road, and you saw one of those buses as you entered tonight. With the addition of 21 compressed natural gas buses in 2015, 75% of Long Beach Transit's fleet will be using alternative fuels. And our new shuttle bus, direct from downtown Long Beach to LAX, will also help ease congestion and reduce car trips and emissions. But of course, Long Beach Airport is always our first choice. LAX is a good second. And we have to thank Transit's leadership and the Transit Board of Directors for these real great sustainable developments. We are also converting all of our city's streetlights, that is every single streetlight, to LED, which will save energy and money. And we continue to add bike lanes and more walkable streets. And as you all know, Long Beach is a recognized leader creating a bicycle-friendly city over the last few years. Just in 2015 and 2016, that's more than 40 miles of new bike lanes being added. So thank you all, the cyclists of Long Beach. That's one of the reasons why our inaugural Beach Streets event was such a huge success. And it's coming back this year bigger than ever, this time in Beach Street's downtown, in the East Village, along Broadway, and on Retro Row on 4th Street. And I also want to talk about the recognition we've received for our water conservation efforts. And don't let the rain we just had fool you. The drought is ongoing, and the drought is real, and we need to continue to conserve and conserve. People conserve, unfortunately, less when it rains, so we need to redouble our efforts. But so far, we've done a great job, and I want to thank the Water Commission and the leadership of the department for all the great work. We've met and often surpassed the governor's conservation mandates, and I want to thank all the residents for joining Mission H2O in making sure that every single drop counts. Also this past year, we passed our first urban agriculture ordinance. Now this new law supports the local businesses who sell food and products that they make right at home. In addition to that, we planted over 700 trees, and our parks again won recognition for being in the top 20 of the entire nation. Absolutely. Animal Care Services continues to improve their operation. More cats and dogs than ever before are being adopted, and euthanasia rates are at historic lows. And now I want to talk to you about two exciting projects within this discussion of sustainability. Both projects have the potential to improve our natural environment and transform our coastal areas. First, after years of passionate advocacy by the city, many of you in this community, we will finally sign the final agreement next week with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to move forward with a San Pedro breakwater and ecosystem restoration study. This study that we've been trying to get off the ground, I think for probably 15, 20 years, will help us look at the possibility of improving our coastal waters and tell us once again, and tell us once and for all whether or not we can reconfigure the Long Beach breakwater without, of course, damaging homes, businesses, or the port. The protection of homes, businesses, and the port will guide this document as we have this discussion. And this study will take us 3 years, is fortunately already funded, and will launch with an intensive community process. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all join me on the beach next week when we finally sign that agreement. The other positive development is our new collaboration with the LA River Revitalization Corporation to reimagine the Los Angeles River. Now, this effort is being led by one of the most renowned architects in the world, Frank Gehry. I recently met with Mr. Gehry at City Hall, and let me tell you, he's impressed with Long Beach. The LA River Corp wants to start their work in Long Beach at the mouth of the river. This is why I will push the city to be a full partner in this effort. This project has the potential to transform our city's west side, create a more natural environment, new running and biking trails, a more natural river, and additional park space. I cannot overstate how important both of these projects are. So let's give everyone involved in these projects a big round of applause. And while we've had many positive developments in 2015, we also, as we all know, faced some challenges. The SCE power outages over the summer were incredibly burdensome to residents, businesses, and were an incredible drain on our public safety. We all know that these outages were completely unacceptable. Now, I appreciate that Southern California Edison has taken full responsibility for the outages and has ensured us, from their point of view, that something like this won't happen again. However, we must continue to demand more answers from SCE while awaiting the Public Utilities Commission's final report. We will keep the heat on Edison. And one innovation that came out of this experience was the creation of Alert Long Beach. And I want to encourage everyone to sign up. Now, Alert Long Beach sends out alerts during public emergencies over a call on your landline, a text, a call on your cell phone, or over email. All you have to do is go to longbeach.gov to sign up. And I want to thank our Emergency Preparedness Department for putting it together. So thank you. Sign up for Alert Long Beach. And now I want to talk to you about two other challenges that are going to require us in 2016 to really work together. The first is a conversation about public safety. Now, I know, and I know you know, that it's a tough time to be a police officer. The job of policing has become more difficult and more stressful than ever before. But let me be crystal clear. Long Beach supports our police officers. And we can best support public safety by working with our police, not against them. Policing is changing, and we need to ensure that we're providing the support and the training so Long Beach continues to lead the way. Now, here's what we're doing, and this is important. One, we've expanded funding for our police academies. We've broken up major human trafficking rings, and we've maintained positive relationships while many cities are still experiencing greater mistrust between police and residents. But we're also doing things proactively. We've begun a body camera pilot program for our police officers, and we are working with the county, our health department, and City Prosecutor Doug Halbert to develop new mental health diversion programs for our community and our officers. And finally, and this is important, we've enhanced training for our police department so they can better assist people who are homeless or mentally ill. And this approach has been working. Let's give them a round of applause for that. And as we know, over the last few years, we've had a lot of discussions about how crime has remained low and dramatically lower than it has been in a generation. And some of the statistics are great. Police response times to priority calls is at 4.9 minutes, one of the best times of any large city, and more than 93% of all emergency calls are answered within 10 seconds. All great news. And while crime reached an all-time low in 2014 last year, some types of crime in Long Beach began to increase over the course of this last year, not just in Long Beach, but throughout California and across the country. Here's the facts. Crime is up in Sacramento, in San Francisco, in Oakland, in Los Angeles, and San Diego, not to mention Denver, Seattle, New York, and almost every big city across the country. But it's important to keep this in perspective. While crime is up in some types of crime in 2015, the level we have this last year is similar to our level in 2011, when it still was the lowest it's been in a generation. So as you know, this crime and this development creates challenges for us moving forward. Now, California, as you all know, has adopted several reforms to our criminal justice system, including prison sentencing reforms. And in many ways, this has been a great thing for California and our state. However, as we see more low-level offenders coming back into our community, we also have to support their transition back into the workforce and to life with their families. But the problem, absolutely, but the problem is that we are not getting adequate financial support from the state or the county, and that's not acceptable. The state and the county cannot expect to shift this responsibility all to cities without providing any new resources to address this challenge. Our city remains very safe as one of the big cities in America, but we need resources from the state to meet these new challenges. We need to continue to keep crime low and find new ways to support our police officers. And one of the best ways to do that, as we all know, is to put more cops on the street. Now, later this year, I will ask the council to work with me to initiate a major restoration to our police department. Now, prior to 2012, Long Beach Police and our department had 4 operating police divisions. We had South Division, we had West, we had East, and we had North. Now, due to the recession, South Division and West Division were combined into one. Now, this saved resources for us, but it also created new burdens in precisely the areas where there was the most police activity. So tonight, I'm calling on the council to work with me to restore South Division, including the sworn and civilian positions that were cut. Now, this will be an important step in keeping our city safer. And as you also know, our fire department has also seen similar cuts in recent years, all because of the recession. Now, you all know that our firefighters are some of the hardest working, bravest men and women you will ever meet. They save lives for a living, and we're all incredibly grateful for their service. But the truth is that our city still needs more firefighting resources. And so tonight I'm also asking the City Council to work together to finally restore the engine at Station 8 in Belmont Shore. This is the top restoration priority for our fire chief. And we have to ensure that this engine is restored, because what happens is then that allows the rest of the city also to have better service. It's about having a better system altogether. So let's work together on these big challenges. And I also want to ask you to think about one other incredibly big challenge. This challenge is infrastructure. We have in Long Beach a $2.8 billion, that's billion with a B, dollar infrastructure need throughout the city. Now, we already spend millions annually to fix our streets, our sidewalks, and our public buildings, including more than over $60 million just this last year. Yet we continue to fall behind. Now, if this Powerball ticket in my pocket pays off tonight, our problem is solved. But just in case it doesn't, we still need to find a way to address this huge challenge. If we want our streets and our public buildings to reflect our status as a world-class city, we must fund more infrastructure repair and maintenance. But for decades, and not just here in Long Beach, but nationwide and across the county, we have deferred those costs. And we've allowed our streets and our public buildings to fall into an unacceptable state of disrepair. Now, the longer we wait to address this, the more expensive it gets. So we may be okay for a few years, see construction happening around town, but a decade from now, if we don't take action soon, our city will be in a terrible state of disrepair. Just take a drive down some of our alleys, right? Take a drive down some of our alleys, and you can see the result of decades of neglect and underfunding. So in the coming weeks, it's critical that we have an honest and constructive conversation. What kind of city do we want to live in? Or as my predecessor, Mayor Foster, liked to say in his State of the Cities, what kind of city will we leave for the next generation? I'm ready to invest to ensure that we have a world-class city. And I know that together, we can meet these challenges and come out stronger. And the most important reason we will do that is because of all of you, our people. It's the people in Long Beach that make the city great. And I want to close tonight by talking about one person that I really think embodies the best of Long Beach. That person is Mary Zendejas. Now, I have known Mary since our days as students together at Cal State Long Beach. And what struck me about Mary is that despite being in a wheelchair, she was always positive and she never let her disability slow her down. As I got involved in city politics, I would always run into her at community events. And whether it was she was advocating for disability rights, participating in the Miss Wheelchair pageant, founding a new club for disabled professionals, she was always involved in some kind of community service. Mary always got around, even back then when we were students, on public transit. And she still does to this very day. This is one of the reasons why I appointed her to the Long Beach Transit Board of Directors. Now, today, she is helping improve transit services for everyone in our community, including people like Mary. Mary is an incredible example of what makes Long Beach great. And Mary's here tonight. She has no idea I'm doing this, but she's right over here, and I want to thank her for her commitment to Long Beach. Our community is defined at the end of the day by caring and compassion and justice. That same spirit of caring and courage must guide us in 2016. There are many things that make Long Beach great. Our amazing coastline, our exciting neighborhoods, the opportunities for the arts, culture, education. But what really defines us, what makes our city special, is our people. The people are what make Long Beach great. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Long Beach. Long Beach is our people. While there are challenges that we're going to face, I know that together we will build a better Long Beach. I want to thank all of you incredibly from my heart for being here, for your support, for your love for the city, and most importantly, for working hard every day to make our community better. Good night, thank you, and go Long Beach. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.